Okay, I had a request to create a tutorial, and I'm hoping it was for chapter 15, and this is the one that I'm going to start with. I may not get to finish it right at this time, but this is the one on HTML, which stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and we're going to write our first program, and hopefully you read the part in this chapter that shows where programming began and some of the first coding languages and what it talked about. But regardless of what language you learn, everybody always learns to write what they call the Hello World program, and that's what we're going to do today. So one of the first things you need to do is, if you're on a Mac, it shows you on page 242, figure 15.2, how to set your preferences in TextEdit so that your file will definitely save as an HTML file. Now, some don't have the delete the automatic backup, but be sure this is unchecked that says add TXT. This is under the open and save tab, and ignore rich text commands in HTML files is also the one that should be checked. New document tab, you need to have on the width 75 and then 30 on the height. Then you can change the font here if you would like, which I did change mine to 12 points so it'd be a little easier for you to see. And then these check marks should be all the same. Let's see, show ruler, correct spelling automatically. You don't have to do that one if you don't want to. Check spelling as you type. I'm going to uncheck this one. Text replacement, smart copy, and paste. So some of the options are a little bit different in this newer OS. I'm running OS Lion here. So there we have it set up for the Mac. Now, if you are on a PC, then all you need to do is open up Notepad, and you do not have to set any kind of defaults, but you will need to be sure that you save as a .html file, and we're going to go over that here in just a minute. So when you're in TextEdit, it's just like you're typing in a word processor, so you have to type in everything that you want to be in your program. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create an open document, and we're going to save this document, and we're going to open it with an HTML tag which tells the browser that you're going to start an HTML document. And in HTML, you have what you call tags, which are actually what I call the less than and greater than symbols around the tags for them to know for the browser to know what's coming next. So and you don't want to use capital letters, all lowercase, HTML, and oops, I accidentally slid my desktop around. I want to go in here and try to make this formatting a little larger for you because it's pretty hard to see there on the screen. So I'll go back to 18 on my font so you'll be able to see easily. And you always have to have an opening tag and a closing tag. So I always get in the habit of creating those right together and then coming up here and putting some spaces in between where the rest of my document will go. The next thing after the HTML tags, we are going to that they're going to have us do add the opening and closing body tags. Okay, so we also need to have head tags. Did they not have us? I guess they're not having you do that, so I won't put that in either. It'll be confusing. So I'm going to tab over, then put body, and then a cancel body. And now anything that we do in between this opening and closing body tag is what's going to show up in our browser window. So all media placed inside the body tags is displayed on the web page. Inside the body tags, we're going to type Hello World with an exclamation mark. Now save the file as Hello World and make sure that you add the .html extension, because that's how the browser communicates with the HTML file. It has to know that it's HTML. So I'm just going to do File, Save, and it's going to ask me where, and I'm going to save it as Hello World, all one word, .html. Be sure you put that on there. And I believe I'll just save it out onto the desktop, but I would also like to have a folder out there called Chapter 15, which it asks us to do in the beginning. So I'm going to go over here and create a new folder first. And actually, you probably want to do this before you create the file. Call this Chapter 15, no spaces. Oops. Uh-oh. Let me get this down. Well, it's not wanting me to change it now. There it is. Chapter 15, no spaces. Okay, so now I'll go to the desktop, and then I want to go to that particular folder. And I'll probably give it to me if I come up here. Okay, desktop. Come on. There we go. And Chapter 15. And click Save. So I've saved the Hello World file. This here, I've saved it into my Chapter 15 folder. So now what I want to do is open a web browser. So if you're on Windows, you may use Internet Explorer. My favorite's Firefox. I'm going to open Firefox. I have some other things opened here. In Firefox, we can click File, Open File, and browse to the desktop. Or the easiest way to do it is not even to have to open a browser. Actually, what I can do, oops, if I can get this closed. What I can do is I can open Chapter 15, and on my file, I'll notice there's a little Firefox icon. I don't want to double click it. I want to right click and say Open With, and I want to tell it to open with Firefox. And there, sure enough, is the words Hello World. And so I have created my Hello World program. Now, what we're going to do, I'm going to stop with this exercise right now, and I'll upload this one. But there's the next one. I will also do the Hello Dreamweaver, and then the hyperlink will go in, the images. I'll go on and do those later on for you to see.